Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you're on.
Happy Sunday to everybody. Obviously, an exciting game and an important win for our team. In this shortened season, we know how critical each and every victory is, and this one especially because we knew games in the Pac-12 South in this abbreviated season, are ultra critical. And Arizona State, credit to Coach Edwards and his staff and his team. That's a good football team, and they're going to do some really good things this year. And one of the better teams that will play all season. So I thought both teams competed exceptionally well all the way down to the end. And we're fortunate to come out with a win. It's a win that I think that will build a lot of confidence for our team. When you have special seasons, you're always going to have that game that one of those games that you're going to have to pull out and have to dig deep and show your mental toughness. And that's what I thought with our kids did. I did not see any panic. I saw immense poise on the sidelines from staff and players, and just looking for the next opportunity. Obviously, a lot to clean up in game one. I mean, you could look at a stat sheet and you feel good about 558 yards of offense and holding, Jaden Daniels to under 50% completion, as well as I think 134 passing. But there's some critical things that we need to get solved in a hurry as we move from one week to the next. This game will build confidence, but it will build reality of how good this team can be with eliminating mistakes. I thought the potential of this team is going to be a lot of fun to watch because I think they can be really special. And it starts with the playmakers. I thought Drake London and Amon-Ra St. Brown had a terrific game, and when the plays mattered the most down the stretch, they made them. As well as Keaton. Keaton, you look at the stat sheet, and he's 72% on the day. Puts up huge yard total numbers. But there's some things that even he and Graham will say, "Hey, we could do this better." I thought as the game went on, he really started to feel a little bit more comfortable, and then obviously. The two drives at the end, I thought he did a tremendous job of checking the ball down, throwing the ball away, not taking a critical sack. Matter of fact, 11 receptions by the backs in this game. So he did a nice job of being able to check down and give them opportunities. I thought Brew coming out for his first game didn't look like a rookie. Walked in there, good look in his eyes, made some big plays for us. Obviously, congrats to him on his first touchdown. Was a big part of getting the onside kick later in the late parts of that game. So credit to him. Thought AVT, maybe he had one of his better games as a Trojan at a new position and really had a dominant game, we felt. The runners did their job, 175 yards rushing on the day, 11 receptions. I thought that was critical. That was far above our average from last year. And that's what this team is going to have to do is take a little bit of pressure off of Keaton all the time and be able to create those rushing yards. And that was a big part to this win, especially down the stretch. And I said this on Saturday, but I was really proud of Graham with his patience in those last two drives, handing the ball off to Vavai for explosive plays. Defensively, it was Marlon Tuipulotu was just a rock star all day. Made huge plays. Obviously, it made a huge play in making a tackle on Darby that ended up having him unfortunately go out of the game, and then makes eight tackles on the days, 2 tackles for loss, a key get down of Jaden Daniels on the stop to get us the ball back on third down. I was really proud of him on the day. And the DBs, when you talk, we played 3 corners in that game with OG and Chris and ITS, 2 nickels in that game with Greg Johnson and Max Williams. Lined up in a ton of man coverage on the day, especially when we saw Darby go out. We really challenged them. And you look at the last 3 calls of the game, what unbelievable trust by T.O. to to be able to say, you know what, we're going to get this ball out of his hand quickly, and DBs go get it done. And they did a heck of a job. Less than 50% completion ratio on the day and 134 yards. So great job by them. And it won't show up on the stat sheet, but I thought Drake Jackson provided tremendous pass rush. And if you go back to the last play offensively, one of the better pass rush moves I've ever seen on the last play to hit Jaden and make him force that ball to go short and one hop to the receiver. Had a very good game. The two specialists with Ben and Parker. Parker's first time out there, thought he did a great job, not only on extra points, but on kickoffs. Whether it was depth or hang time, being able to get those touchbacks are nice, especially on a windy day, and some of those were into the wind. And then Ben did a really nice job, 46-yard net on the day. Did a heck of a job. Injury wise, Brett Nealon was our one casualty in the game with an ankle sprain. We'll see how that goes through the week. I know you'll be asking about who's next up. You saw Justin Dietich come in, who I was so proud of. We always say, you never know when you're going to get your opportunity. And here comes that kid in, and there was not one lack of production. And two really important drives. He did a really nice job. But we have Justin Dietich. We have Andrew Malek, who's a freshman, as well as Liam Douglas, who also practices at the position. So we'll have those three practicing this week, and we'll see where Brett gets to. He's a tough kid. We'll monitor it through the week. The other gentleman that you didn't see at the game that happened late last week, and I actually had finger surgery on Friday, was Brandon Peely. Broke his middle finger and had surgery to put pins in on Friday. Don't know how long that's going to be. It's going to be a week-to-week thing. But we'll see where that goes. Now we get started, actually starting right now. We're getting started with Arizona. Great, another challenge on the road, and looking forward to our next opportunity. So with that, I'll take any questions you have.
Okay, again, raise your hand for questions. We have several ready here. We'll start with Ryan Young.
Clay, before Bruce touchdown, I think ESPN calculated a 99.8% chance of Arizona State winning that game. Now you've had a day to think about it. Have you kind of put in perspective just how improbable that comeback really was?
Thank God for the 0.2, and thank God for a lot of good men that have trust in each other and never quit fighting. And that's what Trojan family and Trojan legacy is all about. And as I told the kids, in the locker room, I've been doing a long time, and I can promise you I'll be on my deathbed, but I'll never forget this game, just for what it means for this year to have the opportunity to play that game through all that we've been through, and then to win it in that fashion. It just speaks to what these kids have done since March, and how they're just resilient and keep on coming back. It provides us a lot of confidence, like I said, that we can be in a situation like that. And good teams find a way to win. And looking back at it, being another year older, I felt the maturity, I felt the experience just on the field that, okay, it's fine. Let's just get this ball. Let's go score. Let's execute. Let's get to the next drive. Let's get a stop. Let's get the ball back. And it was very poised and very professional, and just what they've done all the way through. So I was proud of them. And like I said, thank goodness, as long as you've got a chance, just keep fighting. You're always in the fight.
And then what did Parker Lewis do to beat Chase McGrath after that job?
Parker has been extremely productive in camp. I know that y'all have not got a chance to see him live, but extremely explosive leg. I think you saw that in the game. Chase is, in my opinion, one of the better kickers in the country, and he competed with one of the better kickers in the country. And Chase has been suffering from a little bit of knee tendonitis, hip tendonitis, no fault to his. But just the other kid was producing better in the moment going into this game. And sometimes that's hard decisions. And Chase took it like a pro. Said, Coach, I'm there for you. I'll be there for you if you need me. And he'll continue to get better and get healthier, hopefully, and that pain will go away. And like we always say, we're always in competition. Parker did a very nice job for his opening game.
Adam Grossbard.
Clay, you guys had 8 attempts on 4th down yesterday. Obviously, a couple of those were kind of just born out of the desperation of the late game situation. But in regards to those earlier decisions, is that part of the game plan for Arizona State, or do you think that'll be reflective of like a philosophy for this team this year?
I'm always going to be aggressive. I believe in our offense. I mean, I think it's going to be one of the better ones in the country. And in that situation, going against an Arizona State team that with a Jaden Daniels, I thought points was going to be important. And if you look at the situations, they were 4th and short. It wasn't like it was 4th and 6, 4th and 8. It was situations that I feel confident in our offense and trust our offense to be able to get. We didn't get every one of them. As a matter of fact, 2 of the 4th and shorts, we did not execute to our ability. There were the others that we did, but yes, I tend to be on the aggressive nature. When you have a good offense like we do, which I think is going to be a really good offense, that have faith in them to be able to pull those out. Now, there may be other games that we're in the lead, or just keeping on adding up points may be more valuable. But playing a Jaden Daniels and that offense, I thought points, touchdowns over field goals were going to be important in that game.
And Vi, Steven, and Marquise had pretty even snap allocation and touch allocation yesterday. Is that how you see that position unfolding this year? Or is there a possibility of one guy taking more of a leading role?
Well, I'm hoping that when you look at the number of touches, not only in the run game, but in the pass game, you see the 11 receptions that they had on the day. They're going to be a major factor. And with the amount that hopefully we run the ball with them and get them those touches, not one back can do it. We had Steven, who started the game, had the best camp of anybody. So he started the game. I thought he started it physically. Got a little bumps and bruises as the game went on. Brought by and Keeson and did a nice job. Even Keenan played in our 2-back, 3-wide series. So we had 4 backs playing the game. But obviously, if one guy's getting heated and running pretty good, you're going to leave him in to get that flow. You saw that at the end of the game with Vi. That really started to heat up, and we left him in. But we'll need all 4 of those backs. They're dang good players, and you'll see them not only offensively, special teams, as you've seen them with the ball in their hand. They're all very productive.
Okay, let's go to Antonio. Let's try to keep it to one question each so we can get to everybody.
Clay, I know in the spring you said you want to see this team improve tackling wise. How did you feel that you performed in that aspect yesterday?
Yeah, I thought the perimeter game, we let some big plays out. And it really was being in the wrong position rather than a missed tackle. But when you look at the overall yardage and holding it, what I felt was a really explosive offense under 400 yards on the day, it's a good first outing. I give credit to T.O. You get basically 4 training camp weeks to physically install a defense and go out there and really kept us in the game when we were turning the ball over offensively. Did a nice job. Is there room for improvement? Yes, there's room for improvement. But overall, the tackling for the first game out was good. I think we could have forced the ball a little bit better on the perimeter than allowing it to get outside of us.
Ryan Karchi.
Hey, Clay, I know you talked about the running backs, but how would you evaluate Marquise specifically? I know he had the most carries, but obviously he had that big fumble, and then there were a couple of 4th and 1 carries too.
Yeah. Well, I think all of us had rust. He made some he made some nice plays. Made some nice runs for us. Remember, it's his first game back after a pretty good injury, and sometimes that to be able to get the rust off and to be able to gain that experience and get the confidence back going. That was not only him, but Vavai coming off a knee surgery too. So to be able to come out of what a win and gain confidence with those two backs, that's important, and that'll help us in the future. But I felt both of them grew as the game go on. I feel bad for Geese on the fumble on the third and short, but it's something that they'll gain confidence with, and they'll get better with each game. We have a lot of trust in both those kids.
Mark Helton.
Coach, knowing how important tempo is with the offense, there was a point in the third quarter where you challenged the placement of the ball on a Drake London catch at the sideline, and it resulted in a first down. Later on, something similar with Marquise Step down the red zone around the 5-yard line. It looked like it possibly was placed short. Was there any consideration at that time to have that call reviewed, or was tempo more important?
Mark, they were getting the spots pretty good. Other than the Drake London, I was standing right on top of the flag, and I really felt it's a little bit harder for me to see the 5-yard line. If we do get a little bit more room this year, going 15 to 15 rather than 25 to 25. I'll be honest with you, my old habits, I was sticking near the 25, but I saw the Drake London, so that one was really easy. As usually when we get inside the 5-yard line, as you've seen a bunch, we use tempo a lot, and never want to handicap Graham unless I absolutely know. And I didn't. I saw Drake's and felt really confident with it that he was going to get that.
Okay, let's go to shotgun.
Clay, we talked about in the preseason how, any chance of getting to the college football playoff, you need to win and win big and be impressive. You believe you still have a shot at the college football playoff after being a little rusty yesterday?
We're 1-0 against, and we played a good Arizona State team that I think is going to do some really good things this year. And as we improve with each and every week, hopefully, and build this resume, and you see a team that can put up 550 yards plus a game offensively with the type of playmakers we have, and a defensive that I think is going to grow and get better each and every week. We'll see what the resume is at the end, but make no mistake, Arizona State's a good football team. We knew coming in that this was going to be one of the critical steps for us in making it to winning a Pac-12 South championship and getting to a Pac-12 championship. And hopefully we continue to grow, shotgun, and get better. There's a lot of positive things that happen in that game, and there's a lot we got to fix. Number one, the turnovers. I've always felt when good teams find a way to win. And if you turn the ball over 4 times and find a way to win, mercy, you got a good football team. So we'll continue to build on our resume and hopefully get better each and every week.
Let's go to Eric McKinney.
Hey, Clay, just a kind of quick recap of how you felt EA and Raylan did in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, for Raylan's first time out, there was some good things talking to T.O. and watching the tape, and then there's some things that he'll improve on. There was a missed assignment or two, but for first time out, you didn't see any type of hesitation by him, any type of confusion. Pretty solid day, but I know he can play even better. I hold EA on a pedestal. I think that he's got to be one of the more dynamic players on our defense. I think that center of our defense, and I've challenged them, they've got to be elite. And you look at the tackles in that game, I think that EA had 7 or 8. Let me make sure I'm right there. Yeah, so you look at the center of the defense with the 2 safeties, Marlon and EA. Talanoa leads the way with 10. Marlon has 8. Isaiah has 7, and EA has 7. So the middle of that defense were the top 3 tacklers on the team. That's what you want. I know T.O. he is a perfectionist when it comes to that position. So I don't know if the EA will ever have a great game in his mind, but his numbers, he was productive, and I expect even more from him as the weeks come.
Okay, we'll do one last question. Michael Castillo.
Yeah, Clay, how'd the onside kick come together? Was there a specific look that you were looking for, or a specific play that you guys had practiced? I know Bruce said that I don't think he had been out there before and was kind of thrown out there last minute. How'd that all come together?
Yeah, it's something that we do practice each and every week, and I really thought that the kicker did an exceptional job on his placement of the ball, of where it was. A lot of times that ball gets a little bit too deep, and it allows the blocks to happen by the front line, which they were trying to do, happen, and it just goes straight to the returner. In this on that kick, you try to get him off the spot, and he got the returner off his spot, and Brew, being in there, I thought did a great job. It got close enough to the receiver to be able to cause some hesitation. Obviously, that ball gets away, and then he gets on it, and he's got it in a headlock with his arm just long enough to create possession. You try to get guys on there that can make plays for you. And Brew was in a position where that we wanted him on there. Another gentleman had gone down, and Sean put him on there, and he made a play.
Okay, thank you, Clay. Reminder to the media, our media schedule this week. We'll be back with you on Tuesday morning, 7:45 with Coach for the first 15 minutes or so. Then we'll have Graham Harrell and a couple offensive players on Wednesday, 8 a.m. with Coach Orlando and a couple defensive players. Clay will be back with us on Thursday at 8 a.m. And a reminder that Friday at 1:30, we have our basketball with Andy Enfield, presser and a player. So with that, everybody have a great evening. Clay, again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye now.